They thought they could silence me with a single vote, but they forgot who I am. My name is Lina Marquez, and at 45, I'd spent 12 years as a city councilor in San Diego, fighting for affordable housing, clean energy, and schools that didn't fail our kids. I wasn't in it for power or headlines, I believed in the work. But my party, the Progressive Alliance, had other plans. In a dimly lit conference room, Council Chair Victor Ramsey, my mentor for a decade, leaned across the table. "Lina, you're too divisive," he said, his eyes avoiding mine. "The party's voting you out. We need unity for the mayoral race." I stared, stunned. Divisive? I'd exposed a corrupt land deal that funneled millions to developers, a deal Victor had quietly endorsed. Now, I was the problem. "This isn't about unity," I said, voice steady. "It's about protecting your cronies." The room went silent. Victor slid a resignation letter toward me. "Sign it, Lina. You'll get a consultancy role, cushy, out of the way." I pushed the paper back. "I don't do cushy." That night, the party's vote was unanimous. I was expelled. My phone buzzed with texts from allies, shocked, angry, but none dared speak publicly. As I cleared my office, a photo of my first campaign fell from a box. Me, 33, shaking hands with voters, Victor grinning beside me. Betrayal stung deeper than I'd expected. But as I drove home, a spark ignited. I'd built my career on truth, and I wasn't done. The next morning, I met Carla, my campaign manager from those early days, at a diner. "They're scared of you, Lina," she said, sipping coffee. "Your exposé cost them millions in bribes." I nodded, then dropped my bombshell. "I'm running for mayor, as an independent." Carla choked on her coffee. "Against Victor? The party's machine will crush you." I smiled. "Not if I expose their whole game." That afternoon, I called Javier, a hacker friend from my activist days. "Dig into Victor's finances," I said. "Find the dirt." He laughed. "Oh, Lina, you're back." The party thought they'd buried me. They were about to learn I was just warming up. The San Diego sun beat down as I handed out flyers at a farmer's market, my independent mayoral campaign in its infancy. "Lina Marquez for mayor, truth first," they read. Voters nodded, some whispering about my exposé on the land deal. But Victor wasn't sitting idle. That evening, a local news site ran a hit piece. "Marquez's campaign built on lies," says party leader. Victor claimed I'd fabricated the corruption story for attention. My phone lit up with doubts from supporters. Carla, pacing my cramped apartment, slammed her laptop shut. "He's got the party's PR machine in overdrive, Lina. We need firepower." I nodded, but my secret weapon was already in motion. Javier called at midnight. "Found something," he said, voice low. "Victor's got offshore accounts, millions, tied to the developers you exposed." My pulse raced. "Can you prove it? Give me 48 hours. The next day, Victor upped the ante. At a press conference, he announced a Clean City initiative, stealing my affordable housing plan while painting me as a disgruntled has-been. The crowd cheered, but one face caught my eye, Elena Torres, a retired counselor who'd mentored me years ago. She slipped me a note. "Meet me tonight." At a quiet cafe, Elena revealed her secret. "I've got recordings," she whispered. "Victor bribing counselors to expel you. I kept them as insurance." My jaw dropped. "Why help me now?" She sighed. "I trained you to fight for people, not power. Victor's forgotten that." With Elena's recordings and Javier's financial dirt, I had a chance to flip the narrative. Carla organized a grassroots rally, and my old campaign volunteers resurfaced, their loyalty unshaken. As we prepped, a brick crashed through my apartment window, a note tied to it, "Drop out, or else." Carla gasped, but I laughed grimly. "Victor's scared." I taped the note to my fridge, a reminder of what I was up against. By week's end, Javier sent encrypted files. Victor's accounts, linked to shell companies. I met Carla and Elena at dawn. "We leaked this after the rally," I said. "Let the voters decide." The crowd was gathering. Victor thought he'd crushed me. He was about to face the truth. The rally pulsed with energy, a sea of San Diego voters chanting, "Truth first," outside City Hall. I gripped the mic, heart pounding. "Victor Ramsey calls me divisive," I said, voice carrying over the crowd. But I call it standing up to corruption. Cheers erupted. Carla beamed backstage, but Alina's absence nagged at me. She'd promised to attend. As I detailed my housing plan, a text from Javier flashed. Check your email. Urgent. I wrapped up, handed the mic to a volunteer, and opened my phone. Javier's files were gold. Bank records tying Victor to developer kickbacks, plus emails proving he'd orchestrated my expulsion to silence my exposé. But a second email chilled me, a blurry photo of me meeting Elena, captioned, "Careful who you trust." My stomach dropped. Was Elena playing me? I called her, but it went to voicemail. Carla pulled me aside. Social media's exploding, your speech went viral. We're gaining traction. I forced a smile, but doubt nod. That night, Javier met me at a dive bar. Someone's tailing me, he whispered, sliding a USB drive across. Victor's accounts, plus proof he paid a councilor to leak your campaign plans. I froze. Who? Javier hesitated. Carla. The name hit like a fist. Carla, my rock, leaking to Victor? I confronted her at my apartment. She crumbled, tears streaming. Victor threatened my brother's job, she sobbed. I had to. Betrayal stung, but I saw her fear. Work with me, I said. We'll trap Victor. She nodded, guilt-ridden. I devised a plan. Feed Victor false campaign moves through Carla, while Javier leaked his financial dirt to a trusted journalist. The next day, Victor's team announced a major scandal about my campaign finances, based on Carla's fake intel. I smiled, his trap was set to backfire. As I prepped for a TV debate, a call came from Elena. Lina, I'm sorry, she said, voice shaky. Victor forced me to spy on you. I'm done with him. I didn't trust her yet, but her recordings could still be my ace. The debate loomed. Victor thought he'd cornered me. He was walking into my ambush. The TV studio lights burned as I faced Victor Ramsey across the debate stage, his smug grin masking the predator I knew. San Diego watched, the mayoral race tightening. Ms. Marquez, the moderator began, your opponent claims your campaign lacks credibility. I leaned into the mic. Victor calls my anti-corruption work a lie, yet his developer friends pocketed millions from a shady land deal I exposed. The audience gasped. Victor's smile faltered, but he countered, Lina's reckless accusations cost jobs. I'm about progress. Progress? I wanted to laugh, but held back, knowing Javier's leak was hitting newsstands. That morning, a journalist had published Victor's offshore accounts, sparking outrage. As we sparred, my phone vibrated backstage. Carla, texting. Feds are investigating Victor. Stay sharp. I pressed my advantage, citing my housing plan, but Victor played dirty. Lina's funding is questionable, he sneered, dropping a doctored donor list Carla had fed him. The crowd murmured, but I stayed calm. Check my public filings, Victor. Unlike you, I don't hide money overseas. His eyes narrowed. Checkmate. Post-debate, polls showed me surging, but a new blow landed. Javier called, panicked. Victor's goons hacked my system. They've got dirt on you, personal stuff. My heart sank. Years ago, I'd taken a loan from a shady lender to save my sister's house. It was repaid, but Victor could spin it as corruption. Release it first, I told Javier. Own the story. Hours later, I posted a video confessing the loan, framing it as a family sacrifice. Voters rallied, my honesty resonating. But Victor wasn't done. Elena showed up at my campaign office, pale. He's planning to rig the election, bribing poll workers. I stared, unsure if I trusted her. Prove it, I said. She handed me a USB with intercepted calls. I called Carla and Javier. We go public at the town hall tomorrow, I said. All or nothing. As I prepped, a news alert flashed. Victor's campaign claimed I'd assaulted a staffer. A lie, but it was spreading. The town hall was my last shot. Victor thought he'd won. He was about to meet the real Lina Marquez. The town hall buzzed. San Diego's voters packed shoulder to shoulder, their eyes on me and Victor Ramsey. His polished smile hid the desperation I knew was there. I clutched Alina's USB, my ace, as the moderator opened the floor. Victor struck first, waving a printout of the assault claim. Lina Marquez attacks my staff and calls it leadership, he sneered. The crowd murmured, but I stepped forward, voice steady. That's a lie, Victor, like your offshore millions and bribed poll workers. Gasps rippled. I plugged the USB into the projector, playing Alina's recordings, Victor's voice, clear as day, offering cash for votes. The room erupted. Victor's face drained, but he tried to recover. Fabricated, he shouted. Then Javier's leaked financials flashed on-screen, bank records tying him to developers. The crowd booed. A woman yelled, "Resign." Victor's allies on the council shrank in their seats. Carla, redeemed, handed me a mic. San Diego deserves truth, I said, detailing my plans for housing, schools, and clean energy. Not Victor's corruption. Applause thundered. As I finished, federal agents entered, badges gleaming. "Victor Ramsey, you're under arrest," one said, cuffing him. The crowd roared. Election day came, and I won by a landslide, San Diego's first independent mayor. My first act: launching an anti-corruption task force. Elena joined as advisor, her loyalty proven. Javier got a city cybersecurity contract. Carla rebuilt my team, her betrayal forgiven. Victor's trial dominated headlines, his empire crumbling. Months later, I stood on City Hall's steps, signing a housing bill. A kid handed me a photo, my first campaign, Victor's grin now a bitter memory. "You did it, Mayor," Carla said. I nodded, thinking of his words, too divisive. He was wrong. Leadership wasn't about unity, it was about truth. As I looked out at my city, the sun setting over the Pacific, I knew I'd built something lasting. Not for revenge, but for the people who'd believed in me. San Diego was ours again, and I was exactly where I belonged, fighting for the future I'd always promised.